Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to do a complete Elliott Waves analysis on PEPE coins chart, and this I think looks quite interesting because the picture in here in my view is not really clear, but in the short term there are in my view at least some signs that you need to pay full attention to them in order for you to understand what might be the next likely move. So are you ready? Let's dive in and see what is going on. And first things first, in the mid to long term, as you can see, I already have these counts because I think back in the day I was doing some PEPE videos, so I'm going to stick with what I said before. I do believe this is 5-wave up into a wave 1, correction for wave 2, a strong and beautiful 5-wave on the upside into wave 3, and followed by that we can consider two different counts. One scenario suggests that maybe to about this point is the end of our wave 4, and for example we're gonna have in here like an A B C zigzag, and then maybe from here this is 1, this is 2, and then 3, 4, 5. Now to be fair, we do have some problems in this area when it comes to the subways. For example, when you zoom in and go on some lower time frames, finding a 5-wave in this last leg up into our wave 5 is a bit challenging, but nonetheless I think this can be considered as a valid scenario, indicating, you know what, we already completed in PEPE a 5-wave up, and guess what? Now it's time for a move on the downside. Now, if you want to count this scenario as your primary case, then okay, fair enough. I think in the current move that we are having, starting from the highest high, you need to consider the possibility of having an A, B, C zigzag, which the subways for us are going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into a correction for wave B, maybe ABC, maybe WXY, maybe even a WXYZ. Honestly, it doesn't matter. And then another 5 wave down into wave C. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is happening. And as you can see, effective immediately, you are realizing that in here we do have complete subwaves for actually a beautiful 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5, and followed by that, according to this count, this whole move is a correction structure. I'm going to argue into a larger degree wave B, and guess what's next? Yep, you guessed it right. Unfortunately, another move down into our C leg, which in it we may go all the way down here and take the lows, which is about, let's say, 0.53. So this is one scenario suggesting in PEPE coin we really do not have a whole lot to be optimistic in here, and odds are we are headed lower in order to set new lows. Question is though, can we have some other counts suggesting, you know what, maybe we are looking bullish? The answer is yes, and I think according to that scenario you need to actually consider to about the lowest low having an ABC running flat, which looks like this. This is our initial move down into a correction for wave B, which in it we're going to take this initial high, and then another move down into wave C. And if in this phase we are not going to take the low of our A leg, this pattern is called a running flat. If we are going to take it on the other hand, okay, at that point this is going to be an expanded flat, but you know, nonetheless the subwaves are very much similar. ABC down into A, ABC into B, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into C. Now let's go on the live chart and count some waves, and I still stand by what I said. I fully believe this is a 5 wave on the downside, but if you want to be optimistic, then okay, you need to actually say that this move up in PEPE is actually in form of an A, B, C zigzag, and this is ABC down. We said it already, and well, according to this count we are having from this point and not the highest high an A, B, C, and let's just hide everything real quick. As you can see, this is actually in form of an expanded flat and not a running flat. That was my mistake, sorry about that one, which is going to be into this larger degree wave 4, and according to this count we are still going to have in this cycle hopefully another big move up into wave 5, which the bare minimum target for it is going to be taking the highest high, which is somewhere around 0.29. So in PEPE, yes, you are allowed to be optimistic. However, should that be your primary scenario? Well, I'll be honest with you, I really do not trade meme coins. I think they are good to a degree if you want to make some quick money, and even that is assuming that you are going to time every single thing right. Most likely meme coins are going to actually lose you money as opposed to making some. So, if you ask me, I don't really think you should be trading meme coins, but this is just for the sake of educational purposes, okay? It's very important to understand that. And I think your best shot at finding some sort of an impulse in here is if you say that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to about here, and also this is another 5 wave on the upside, and this initial phase up off of the lowest low can be a 5 wave. So currently in Pepe, I'm thinking about, if you want to be really optimistic, having a 1-2 scenario, meaning this can be one correction for wave 2, and you have to see soon a strong move up into wave 3, 4, 5, which on a higher degree, it's actually going to be into this wave 3 correction for 4, another move up into wave 5, and even that one on a higher degree, it's going to be into wave 3 correction for 4, another move on the upside into wave 5. I think this is your best shot at finding some sort of an impulsive optimistic scenario if you really want to force a bullish scenario in here. But from my POV, it shouldn't really be your primary case, honestly. And let's go on H1 time frame. You see, here's a very important question. At what point can we argue maybe in Pepe this isn't actually happening and we are probably headed much lower? I'm going to argue the moment that you see a move down in Pepe coin, in order to actually take this important slow down here, which from the current point, this is about, let's say, like a 20% move on the downside. Well, okay, at that point you have to say this scenario is actually invalidated, and odds are the 1-2 scenario on a higher degree even is not going to be in play, meaning what? You are probably headed lower in order to take all these lows down here. So if you want to be bullish in Pepe coin, then okay, before we take the lows, you have to see a very strong bounce back. On the other hand, if you want to be bearish and you are actually looking for an invalidation point for pretty much, I'm going to say, most of the bullish scenarios, then okay, all eyes on this important slow and see what is going to happen to it. If we take it, then okay, that is pretty much going to be, in my view, your bearish confirmation, suggesting we are indeed headed lower. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Pepe coin. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.